Starting to record. What we're going to do today is take a look at finding the equation of a line. I'll put up on the screen there for you the things that you need to know to make that happen. Goes there and goes there. All right, so before we get started here, just show you, we have an equation that looks like this. This is what we're going for today. Y is equal to mx plus b. And our goal then, to create an equation that looks something, what we got to do is we got to find the slope for m. And then we also have to find something called the y-intercept. And here it's going to be given the letter B. I think I mentioned elsewhere, sometimes C and such. All right, so what's going to happen is we can find the slope in a few different ways. The slope can come from reading off a graph, and I think you did that a couple days ago. All right, given the graph, find the slope. The other way, or the other place we can get the slope is with the ordered pairs. That also was from some homework a little while ago, or in other words, the coordinates for the coordinates that are on the might be given to you directly. The y-intercept, we're gonna get it from the get this from the graph, and then maybe might have to do some algebra depending how fancy we get today. All right, so what's the goal? Two numbers, m and b. Slope and the y-intercept, they're going to come from different places. Yeah, that's what we'll take a look at. So I'll leave this here, but let's take a look at the screen then. What do we got going on? Well, this is the situation here. The slope-intercept form of the equation is y equals mx plus b, shown right there. And just as I said, m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. Okay. Now, it says here, why is this number at the end, why is that b the y-intercept? And where does that come from? So I'll show you that first here. Yeah, I can put it back. Quick one there. 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah? Okay. So we got, let's say we got this here. We got, so y is b, the y-intercept. Okay, so check this out. This is our x and y axis that we had from before as usual. There's going to be a line going across in some way. So a line goes like that, let's say. And so notice that there is a location where this line here crosses the y-axis, and that's going to be right at that spot there. True? True. Okay. Now, what are the coordinates, or what's the x coordinate of this point here? Yeah, Parsa says it's 0. He's right. Now the question is why? Okay. So the coordinates of that point are going to be, like for the x value, to get to this point from, remember from the other day, we started the origin here, salamander, right? To get to this point, do we go to the right at all? No. To get to that point, do we have to go to the left at all? No. Okay, so we don't go positive to the right. We don't go negative to the left. Okay, we don't go anywhere in the x direction. We go 0 in the x direction. Okay. How high do we go? Well, whatever that number is. If this, for example, was the number 5, then this point here would have the coordinates of 0, 5. And B, the y-intercept, B would equal 5. So this means, remember, for our equation, we're looking for two numbers. We're looking for the slope M and the slope B. We got B when we do this one. Okay, we got B. What we can do, we can improve for this line. We can say y is equal to, we don't know the slope yet, so it stays as M. But we do know the y-intercept, so instead of B, we can put the number 5. Okay, that's as close as we can get there. Okay, so notice on the screen it says if you substitute 0 in. So let's take a look at this. If we put a 0 in for x, what's 0 times m going to be? What's 0 times anything? Yeah. If we let x equals 0, then we get y is equal to, just following it downwards, we get y is equal to m times 0 plus 5. So what's 0 times m? That will be 0. All right, when you get the y value of 5 happening there. All right, we saw a little bit yesterday that graphs can go in the positive direction or graphs can go in the negative direction. When they go in the positive direction, what do they look like there? Well, if the slope is positive, that means the graph is going to look like this. It's going to go in the positive direction like that. It's going to go upwards. If the slope is negative, then it's going to look like this. It's going to go downwards like that. Okay, so if you look at the screen, they have this thing called the rise and the run. So instead of explaining what they are with words, I'm just going to draw the picture here. Let's say we start at this point here. And we're going to go to this point. Okay. what we have to do, just like yesterday with the Cartesian stuff, we got to go in the x direction. And then we got to go upwards in the y direction. Okay, so we go in the x direction. This is called the run, because that's what you would do on the street, especially on a nice day like today to stay warm. And this part here is the rise, how far up it goes. Okay, so the run is in the x direction, and the rise is in the y direction. Over here, same sort of thing. If we're going from there to there, let's say, we go across like this, and then in this case, we go down like that. Okay, so this is still the run going like that, and this is the rise now going downwards. Okay, still the x direction, still the y direction. Okay, so how these fit together with the slope is like this. We had our formula yesterday for, remember, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1? Remember that? Okay. It's also going to equal this. Slope is the rise that you have. And remember, it can be positive or negative depending if you're going up or down. And then divided by the run. And the run, what we're going to do is we're always going to go to the right direction. Always go to the right. At least for now, till you get some practice with this stuff. So this means the run will always be positive. Okay. Now, take a look at this thing with these formulas in mind, okay? All right. I'll put that up there. And I'll use the marker. It's better, eh? So we're given here that the slope is, look side by side. This actually means 3 over 2 like that, if you write it with the top and on the bottom. So this number here represents the rise, and this one here represents the run. This is the rise in the y direction, and this is the run in the x direction like that. Okay, so what does it mean? So we saw before, when it's positive in the y direction, it goes up. And when it's positive in the x direction, it goes to the right. So positive in the y direction means we're going up in this part. And then positive in the x means we're going over here. We'll do a backup. Let's draw a little picture. So let's pretend that we start here at the origin. Don't always have to, but in this case we will. So we're going to start there. And we want to draw this graph. Okay, so what can we do? We can look at our slope here, and in the run, we'll go 2 units to the right-hand side, because that value there is positive, so we're going to the right. And then we'll go 3 in the positive y direction, so that's up this way. So we go like that. 3. We end up there. And with 2 points, that's all you need. Well, that and a ruler. Okay, you got them down in place with 2 points. As best as you can, connect the dots. And there you go. You got the line that that you need in order to be successful, in order to show this slope here. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. That was an example of going up. Look at this one.
So for this question, can you say 3 over 2, 2 times 2 plus b
3 over 2 times 2.
plus?
Yeah, good. Some from class. They mentioned the equation for this. And so if you wanted the equation for this thing, since we have the slope only, right? We have y is equal to mx plus b. This is what we're going for. We're given the slope is 3 over 2. So that's going to replace m. 3 over 2x, see, and then plus b. From this number here, we can get this far. Now, I gave for free that we're going to start here at the origin, right? So if we include this part, what's the y coordinate of this point down here? No. It's actually 0, yeah. Supposed to be, right? 0, 0 down there at the origin. So where does the line cross the y-axis? Still at that 0, right? It goes through the origin. So this means that b now, the y-intercept, will equal 0. The graph crosses the y-axis down here where y is equal to 0. So b is equal to 0. So for final update, for this bottom part, if we include the graph there, we get y is equal to 3/2 x, and it would be plus 0, but we just leave it off for that. Yeah, maybe I'll show it in there just to show you we're thinking about it. But then this is the out of space absolute final answer down there. Yeah. Okay. That kind of jumped us ahead, but we'll go through each of the bits here. How is this slope different than all the rest? Well, first of all, it's negative, right? Okay, so is this graph going to be going up or going down? As it shows, it's going to be going
Down.
Yeah, down. Thanks there, Hidil. It's going to be going down like this in some way, right?
Yeah.
Now, what I wanted to show, or what is shown on the screen there, is sometimes you're going to get like a single number. In this case, it's -2. Okay, well, in order to create or to understand what the slope is, you do need to know what the rise is, because that's the up and down part. And you also need to know what the run is. That's the x part there. So you need to have, like a fraction then, right? Not just a single number. So how does that happen? Well, you just got to remember that there's an invisible 1 when you have underneath, when you have a number like this. So m equals -2 is the same as -2 over +1, like that. And so now we know then that the rise, if it's -2, is it going to be going up or is it going to be going down? Well, down because it's negative. So down by 2. Over here, going to try and always keep the bottom positive. So this will be the run, and it'll go to the right by 1 unit. And so doing what we did before, let's say for fun that we start here at 6, just making that up. That's our starting point. And so the coordinate there will be 0 and 6, because it's right on the y-axis. To get to this point, you don't have to go to the right at all from the origin. You don't have to go to the left. You just go straight up. And then we're going to do this. Okay, so you go to the right by 1 like that. Then you go down by 2 for the run part there. Down by 2. That finishes up. You're located here. That's the final spot. Because we've gone over 1, the x value is no longer 0. What's it going to be? Just 1 now, right? And we've gone down 2 from being at 6. So what is the y value now for this?
One.
1 will be for the x there, Hadeen. And for the for the y, we started at 6. So all along this level is a height of 6. And then we go down by 2. So where are we going to be at?
4.
4, right on. Thank you there, Zoom. Thank you, Adil. Just like that now. Okay, you can connect the dots and then you got the picture of the line like that. Okay, since you asked before there what the equation of this thing is going to be, okay, we were given that the slope is a -2. So the slope in there is -2x. And then the b is for the y-intercept. The b is where the graph crosses the y-axis. So where is that? What's that number? What's that value? Where's over here? This is the y-axis here.
4.
4, no, 4 is over at this location here. This is the line that we got. So this line goes here, goes here, goes here, goes here. Oh, this is the y-axis, right? So what's the value located here? Y is equal to 6 at that spot. So plus 6 there for this this particular line. Okay. Right. So we kind of did this already with these examples here, but there's some nice clear steps up there on the screen for you. So Diane, you want to get that one? Ah, surprise. Yeah, just some, instead of just drawing it freehand, a couple of steps there. First is put the equation so that it looks like y equals mx plus b, because watch, you might have to do some algebra. The question might be set up like 2 plus 3x minus y is equal to 0. Okay, so you want to have it like y by itself, and then the x term, and then the lone number at the end. So you might have to do some algebra in order to make that happen, okay? So that means moving things from one side to the other and keeping track of positive and negatives and all that stuff. So we're going for that style. So let's get y by itself first. Move it from this side to the other side. Okay. What are we going to get? What's going to happen? Yeah, whenever you're crossing the equal sign, right? Or you can maybe think of it like this. Because it's minus y, if you add y to both sides, these will add up to 0. That's the trick, right? And so you're left with positive y, which is what we want, on by itself. Happens to be on the right-hand side. That's okay. It can be on the right, by itself on the right, or by itself on the left. It doesn't matter. What are we left with here? We got 2 plus 3x like that. So it's almost there, right? But what we're allowed to do, as long as we keep the sign in front, we can switch the order. And so it's plus 3x. So we can put the plus 3x in the front. And this is a plus 2. We can just do that little switch there. And we're left with 3x plus 2 is now equal to y. So that's the first step. Now we know stuff about it because it's in the order that we know where we know things. Right? Yeah, question from class. Thanks for waiting.
Can we say y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 is here is x3?
Yeah, we can actually. From class, the question, yeah, good question. I think what we saw on the first day, for sure on the second. For this one, notice it's a plus 7, a little different than what I just showed you. Oh, which would be a lie. Let's keep it all the same. Y is equal to 3x minus 7. So from class, they recognized or remembered that 3 is the slope given by the letter M, right? And what happened? Made the connection to slope from yesterday. Y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So can we say this, that the slope is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1? And the answer is, yeah, we can. Absolutely. Okay. What's that? Could we? Oh, the earlier one? Yeah, for sure. I'll put it back up there. But just for here, the point is we got the slope here. Yes, it's connected to our earlier idea of slope. And just as an add-on, remember there's an invisible 1 underneath so that we have a number for the top and then a number for the bottom there as well. Okay. The page from before by request is this one, just showing a little bit of algebra there, which I hope everyone is okay with. If not, we'll check that. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Now, what do we got though? What we're doing, remember, for this slide, this screen, we're setting up the different steps. So the first one is to solve for y so that it looks like that. Now remember, this is to create the graph. So what we next do is plot the y-intercept. And what this is going to be like, this will be like our starting point. Okay, so you do have to remember that the y-intercept is the number hanging there at the end, the minus 7 for this. And so we can put that on our graph to begin with. Right? There's our graph there. Try and leave some space down here. Minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 and 7 like that. And we know this location because that number is the same as this one there. That's what the B is, the y-intercept. Yeah, and importantly, as I said, it's going to count as a starting point. Okay, fantastic there. Next, what happens then? We use the slope like we did on the earlier slides with the rise and the run to get a second point. And then once we have two dots, we're good to go. Lay the ruler down, connect them, and that's it there. All right, so the slope that we have here is, the slope that we got is equal to 3, which remember is the same as 3 over 1, which means we have a rise of 3 like that and a run of 1 like that. So the run is always going to be to the right, and then the rise will be up or down depending on what our what the value there is. Okay, plus 3 though. So what does that mean? It means we're going to be going upwards from this point here to get the next one. Okay, so what we'll do is go over by 1. See, over by 1. And then being careful with, to the right by 1, that is. And then being careful with our dashes here, we're going to go up by 3. So it goes up, we're at -7. We're going to go up by 3, so where are we going to end at? If we go up by 1, we're at -6. Up by 2, we're at -5. Up by 3, we're going to be at right there, -4. See, the run that we had from the slope down here, from the slope over there, and then the rise as well. Okay. Yeah, and as promised, with those 1, 2 dots in place, whoops, ruler is best. If you miss it, the trick is make the dot bigger. You can lay that down and then get the picture of the graph happening like that. Okay, so what the heck was this screen about? Yeah, right. First, put it in order so that we know what the numbers mean. Second is figure out the starting point. It's not really a starting point, but it's useful to think that way. A point on the graph. Starting point from the y-intercept that we see in the equation. And then the third part is to use the slope to get from our starting point to another one. Number 4, I guess it would be to connect the dots, and it's done. You guys okay? Question? No? Sleepy today. All right. I move the screen? Yeah? Woo. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Carefully draw the lines. If it doesn't work, make the dot big or erase. Do it properly. Okay, so what's next here? Let's see. Whoa, 1 of 5. That's quite a few questions. Let's see what the heck is going on here. What time is it? Okay, getting to 3 o'clock. All right, good people. You got the example on the screen here. The challenge before you is to create a picture, to create the graph of this, this equation here. Yeah, yeah, true indeed. One last look, okay? All right. What's the first thing then? Got to create the graph of this thing. Step one is what? What's that? Yeah, put them in order. Good. So I'll just put it like this. Y equals mx plus b. That's in order, special order for today, right? Slope, intercept. Okay, that's the name for this order. Slope is there, y-intercept is there. Yeah, good. The second piece then, second thing to do. Oh, wait, yeah. Maybe I'll put the real equation in there, not just this, right? What is the real equation? 2x minus 3? This is in number 1. This is the order, and here it is for the question. Okay, good. Yeah, for step number 2 now, this will help. Label them as mm, I'm not sure what that means. Hey. Y and A. I don't remember what the A is. Just the Y? The Y what? What was Y in the earlier question? Oh, 0. That's important for this. Okay. That's true. 0 and B. Nice. What is this called? There is a Y there. I'll give you that. No. Yeah. Intercept. So intercept means to cross, right? So where does a graph cross the y-axis? At the intercept there. Good. Yeah, this is what step number 2 is. Figuring out what it is and putting it on the graph at the same time. So what is the y-intercept with this equation here? Two and minus 3 from class? No, those are the numbers we're working with, absolutely, but it's only one of them. No. 50-50. It's a minus 3. Yeah, the number at the end. Remember, because you can put a 0 in there. Okay, we can let x equal 0. You can do this trick until the end of grade 12. To find the y-intercept, you let x equal 0, and then you work it out. Okay, so our equation is 2x minus 3. When x is 0, we get y is equal to minus 3. And so this means that the slope, the y-intercept rather, this is a special fact for the y-intercept, because when we look at the y-axis, every point on it has an x value of 0. Okay, remember the reason is we're always starting here and then going either left, right, or straight up, straight down. Okay, if we go to the right, we have a positive x value. If we go to the left, we have a negative x value. If we stay and just go up and down, we're on the y-axis, so we're making a y-intercept. And the x value is 0. Yeah, yeah. So this x value, or this y-intercept, will have a value of -3, and we can put that in there. -1, -2, and -3 like that. Okay. You could do the work to solve it, or just read it off from the equation that's there. Same number, right? -3, -3, and so -3 down there. What's the third thing now? Nice, the rise and the run. So I'm going to switch the page. This question could probably be answered way shorter, but just showing some extra topics as they come up, calculation and that sort of thing. All right, so the rise and the run, that's true. The rise and the run. Remember, they're a fraction like this on top of one another. And looking at that, the equation is 2x minus 3, still there on the screen, right? This comes from the slope. And so what's the slope of this line that we have here? The slope is going back, right? The slope is the number in front of x all the time. So straight up, the slope is equal to 2. And so remember that this is the same as 2 over 1. And so that's the rise, and this is the run. So going back to our picture, going back to the graph, we go 1 to the right because it's positive. And then because it's positive 2, we go upwards by 2. So we're just going to do that here. And now in order to get our second point. So we go over 1 like this, which means we're no longer at 0, 0. Gone over by 1 now. And now we got to watch, we go up by 2. So we're at -3 down here, the y-intercept. We go up by 1, up by 2. That puts us right there. Just for interest, the coordinates then would be, well, we've gone 1 to the right, so it'll be 1 for the x. And we've gone up 2 now from -3, right? So we've gone from -3 to -2 to -1. Just like that. Lay the ruler down, connect the dots, and you're good to go. Something little like that.
So for that y equals 0.
Y equals x. Say that again. Sorry, I missed that.
Y is 0, 0.
Oh, y is a 0 here?
Yeah.
Because someone asked about why is there a 0 for the y-intercept all the time.
Okay.
So when you let x equals 0, this part disappears,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
right, left with the y value. Okay, so same strategy, same similar steps. Let's see if we can make this one happen a little bit shorter, right? Still try and be organized and such, but let's see how this one works. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we got y is equal to 1 over 3x plus something there, plus 2. All right, so maybe I'll show you here then. What I see right away, first thing is the y-intercept. That's b. Yeah, 2. You see, one little line there. Just a fact to recognize from the equation that we got. Oh, I guess this is step number 2, isn't it? What's step number 1? Kind of skipped it. Step number 1, make sure it's in order. That's a nice way to say it, actually. Which it is. Okay, so it is in order. That's good. Reading it off then, the y-intercept is 2. That's all right. We can even at this point start making the graph. So 1, 2, right? That's the y-intercept there. And if you wanted, you could even write the coordinates in there. 0 for the x, 2 for the y. Just to show everything off, yeah. Okay, so that's step 1, step 2. Step 3 then.
Y is like 1 over 3 times 0.
Even easier, watch this. Because it's written this way, the slope, you can read it off. M is equal to 1 over 3. Okay, and down here, if you want, you could write the rise is plus 1. In other words, you're going up. And the run is plus 3 going over to the right-hand side. Okay, so this will be up. And that will be to the right. So looking at our graph then, looking at our picture, we go, I usually go to the right first. So it goes right by 1, by 2, and then by 3. So it goes over to here. And then we're going to go up by 1. Just like that. So what are the coordinates of this new point, good people? Luna, you got this one? Or Luna? Lana, rather? You got what are the coordinates of this new point? We started here at 0, 2. We went 3 to the right and up, yeah. What's that? 1 for sure. Or rather, what am I saying? No, 1 for sure. 1 for sure is there. No, not in there. We start at 0, 2, because that's the y-intercept, right? Start down here. It's 2. Yeah, 3 and 3 from class. Check this out. It's at 0. Then it's over by 1, 2. Oh, so it's over by 3 now for the x direction. So that creates that. And to go up for the rise, we go up by 1 from a height of 2. So that means we go up to a height of 3. See? Height of 2 all the way along here. And we go up by 1, so we're at, we get that second 3 for the y direction. Being super careful, lay it down, connect the dots. Something like that. Yeah. Let's go do a quick check on the other questions, see what we got happening there. Solve each equation for y. Okay, for these ones, we're not graphing them. For these ones, we're just putting them in order. Practicing the algebra for step 1 here, okay? So this is the step 1 put in order. So to begin with, we got our minus 3x plus 4 minus y is equal to 0. So what do we got to do to put this in order? In order being y by itself, and then the x, and then a number. What do we got to move? Nice. That's it. This part just stays that as it is, right? Kind of nice question to start with. The only thing we have to do is move the y over, and it'll become positive, right? So then we, that stays there. Yeah, the y goes to the other side, so it's positive y now. And we have it set up. It's reverse, right? But this is still okay. So from here, just as a reminder then, the slope would be minus 3, or in other words, minus 3 over 1. And then the y-intercept would be 4. And then we can do all the stuff that we did with the earlier question if we wanted to. Graph it out and such there. Okay. Any questions about that? Little algebra? No shortage of examples for that, so we can check that. What's that? Well, we got a couple questions to go. Oh, yeah? Yeah. Can't think, eh? Hurts, can't think? Yeah. I'll give Dunya, I'll give the homework to Diana, and you guys set it up? Yeah. Okay. Okay, no, see you not tomorrow. Okay, yeah, student had to go. This question here then, same style, put it in order. What do you got to do?
We need to move the y.
Move the y. From Zoom, we
Yeah.
have move the y. The y is already positive. So that's a signal to actually leave it and then maybe move the other stuff. Actually, no, maybe. Because y is positive. Oh, put it in order. Okay, see, when the order means y is by itself, but also it's positive. There's no minus in front there.
Oh, okay.
And if we move the y on the screen, not here, if we move the y on the screen to the other side, it changes from a positive to a negative.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll put this if it equals -2. You see, if you move the y, this is what you get. You have x by itself instead. Okay, now what we're going for.
Oh, okay.
So what's the other trick then? If we're going to leave the y on that side, got to move the x out of the way. It's the x that's going to go now. Yeah? Okay, so we got y. Move the x to the other side. It's positive on this side, so what is it going to be on the other side? Nice. From class, we got negative for sure. So it'll be negative x now. And then that -2 is still there, so it's still -2 like that. It's good. Okay, so that's what we're going for this question. Put it in order. Oh, it says draw the graph too. Okay, so a little bit of extra work then. Well, what happens first if we have to create the graph now? That's our equation, complete with smiley down there. What two numbers do we need from the equation?
Zero -2.
Nice. From Zoom, we got 0 and -2. Perfect. This is the y-intercept. Y-int, if you don't mind. That's the b. And so we can put that on our graph. 0. Well, that's our starting point. So just straight down by 1 and 2. Good work. Thank you very much there, Zoom. What next?
I don't know.
Keeping it secret? Zoom's keeping it secret. You guys got to do this one. Well, time to stop talking. Or it's time for water. We got the -2 from our equation. We need another number. And what does it give us? It's invisible. The invisible 1. Okay, so this says that the slope is now -1 because that's the number in front of the x value or the x variable. Okay, got it together. So if the slope's like this, remember, we can think of it as -1 over 1 like that. So we go 1 to the right. And then we go down by 1. And we end up there. So what location, what's the coordinate now of this new point that we got?
-3.
-3 for the y, nicely done. What is it for the x?
X. -1.
One more time, because we go to the right. See?
Oh, yeah, okay.
So for a y-intercept, it's 0 and -2, right? For the new one, how far to the right do we go?
1.
1 only. Zoom got it. See? So we go to the right by 1, right positive by 1. Yeah, Zoom, good work. Excellent. Lana, okay with that? No? Don't like it? Really? Okay. Not clear, right? Yeah. Try my glasses. Then it'll be clear. All right. Anyways, connect the dots. Finish it up. That's like that there. Now, Lana, what part is not clear for this? To draw this point here?
Yeah. Sometimes. Sometimes.
Which numbers? Yeah, okay. So, okay, yeah, so just the numbers for this last part, right? Okay, so you're okay with the starting point here, right? -2. Boom, it goes there. Yeah, okay. And then we use the slope to figure out how to get from one point, from our starting point over to the next one. You okay with that? Okay, so this is for, that's a -1, so that'll be down. That's a +1, so it'll be to the right. And that's what we got here. Ching, ching. And so we end up at this location. True? Okay, so now then, to get these numbers here, the last ones, all you gotta do is you take a look at the x values first. Okay, so we're at 0 to start with. The x value for our slope is the one that's on the bottom. See, it's going to the right. So if we're at 0 and we go 1 unit to the right, just like that, we have to now be at +1. And so that value here is that value there. Yeah, so right. So the +1, are you okay with that? What I just showed you there? You see, because that's the x part, so that finishes it. We're just having a discussion about the x direction. Go ahead there, and Ben? Yeah, please. Peter, you too? Not till later? Okay. Okay. Yeah? Okay. So we do x first. So we got that. And now we're gonna do the same for the y. We're gonna start at this location, starting at -2. From here, from the slope, it says go down by 1. Nice, Parsa, right. Yeah. And that creates, if we go down from -2, we're down at -3 now. And that's what goes there. Better? But not yet. One more example? Is my hand in the way? I'm talking and my hand's like, is that what's going on? That's no good. Okay, so a little class discussion about this one. That's okay. Check the next one here. That was 4 of 5. What do we got here? Oh, grown up one.
First, I think in this question we need to like divide this to y and it's 2y. We need to.
Nice. That's one of the things we're gonna do. You got it. We can do it in the beginning or do it at the end. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Myself, I think at the end, but that's just me. Yeah. Okay.
I said y is 3/2. Y is minus 3/2 plus 4.
Yeah, I think so. Oh no, almost.
And
For this last example, guy in class is trying to figure it out. Almost got it. Minus for the slope is true, but the y-intercept, not quite. So for this one, it's the order only, the algebra, right? But we might graph it just to do another example there. So to put this in order, okay, what do we got? 2y plus 3x is equal to, 4 on the right-hand side there. What happens when you divide 4 by 2? Just happened to be asking. Oh. Okay, so order means y is equal to mx plus b, right? Okay, so watch. Y is positive, but also there's no number in front. Or it's like an invisible 1, if you like. In our example here, in our question rather, example, we have a 2 in front. So we got to get that 2 out of the way somehow. Yeah, what we do is whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. And we're going to divide everything by 2. Okay, so watch. Dividing by 2, I'm going to do it in a separate step, but in real life, you can just work off from the question. See? Dividing by 2 looks like that. Dividing by 2 looks like that. Dividing by 2, last everything looks like that. And the benefit of that step is because these numbers are the same, 2 over 2, they're gone, right? Those now divide out and you're left with y on its own like that.
3/2 plus.
Yeah, there's a few different ways of writing this. 3/2 times x, 3x over 2. Right, so I'll write it like this. 3/2 times x. Yeah, is nice there, 2. So let's take a look at our work for a second and compare to what we need. Y, or positive y, positive y. A slope and then an x, slope and then an x, single number for sure. But these now have to be on the same side. So we got to move this one over. Then that finishes it. So if we move that one over, yeah, nice. Class from someone in class got it here. Remember, even though it's a fraction, if it's positive on this side and you move it over, it becomes a negative on the other side. So just a negative out in front like that there. That's a +2, that stays. And so now this is in order. Now we know stuff about, now we can learn stuff about this line. What can we learn? Hopefully you can tell me. What's the slope going to be? Minus 3 over 2 from in front of the x. Slope. Always in front of the x there.
And b is
Yeah, b is the y-intercept. You could write it like 0, 2 like that. Okay, so a quick little graph just to tighten it up from the last question there. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try and keep that equation up anyways. So we got our we got our slope and our y-intercept. So going like this.
Y is going to be like 2, and they are going to be like minus 3. No.
Class is helping us out today. That's right. Look at this. From the +2 here at the end. And this is the y-intercept right there, 0 and 2.
And rise by 3. Rise next 3 and run 2.
I think Zoom got something there. Zoom one more time. Go ahead.
Rise by -3 and run by -2.
Not bad. Check this out. Zoom said rise is -3 and run is -2. Okay, so not the case. This is watch this with the fraction bit here. Okay, this is super important and quite special. There we have -3 over 2. So that minus is with the 3.
Oh, okay.
Watch. Here we have the -2 with the minus is with the 2. And here it's out in the very front, not on the top or on the bottom. Okay, so super important. These are all the same things.
One of them is positive, another one is minus.
You can float the negative to the top. You can have the negative on the bottom, negative in the middle. These are all minus, happens to be 1.5. Now for us, this is and so notice, the minus is on only one of the numbers at a time. This one looks like it's on both, but it isn't, okay? So lastly, the one that is helpful for us is this one here. You have a positive on the bottom. So I'm going to
Okay.
often use this one. Okay, so what does that mean now for our
Then
rise and our run? Yeah, from class and Zoom, I think you guys got it now. -3 and +2, right?
mm-hmm.
Okay, so for the rise, we going up or down?
Down.
Down.
Down. For the run, we're going left or right?
Right.
Right. What? Right. Oh, okay. Okay.
It's going to be 2 minus 1. X is 2, y is -1.
Yeah, for the final answer for the coordinates down here, it will be 2 and -1. Yeah. So let's just check to make sure. 2 to the right. So we go draw it in like that. 1 and a 2. That looks good. And then we go 3 down. So right here we go 1. We go 2. And then 3 down to there. So that's going to be our second point like that. And yes, it is at -1. So it is at 2 and -1.
Are we having homework?
You do, yeah. Question about, do we have homework? Yeah. So just hang on 2 more minutes. Okay. Okay, so we have these points down here. We can connect the dots. And life is good. Just for fun. Oh, sorry. Promised I wouldn't say it anymore. Or at least switch it up to something else. What are the coordinates of this location here?
2 and
So notice it's 0, 2 to start with. How do we get from this point to this point? What do we do to get from that point to that point?
2 and 2.
Yeah, we go to the right by 2. So if we go to the right by 2, have we gone up or down at all?
Up.
If we just go straight across,
Mhm.
right, what happens to the x value here?
A 0.
It's 0 to start with, but then when we go to the right,
Oh.
this turns into 2. Yeah? Now, have we gone up or up at all or down at all?
Down.
Going from here to here? No, just from there to there. We don't. It's at the same height above the y-axis all the time, right? So what's the height here? 2 clearly. So what's the height going to be right there? 2 as well. Okay. Go to the right by 2 from here, but it stays at the same height. So that point here would be 2, 2. Then it goes down by 3 for this part. So you go from 2 to 1 to 0 to -1. Down there. Yeah? Okay. So that's going to finish this off. What I got for class is, yeah, a piece of paper. What I got for Zoom is, it's already up there for you.
On Zoom and Team.
Yeah, it's already on Teams. And so what you have to do for all of these questions is create the y equals mx plus b type of equation for each question. As for one example, it tells you straight up that the slope is -1, and it tells you that the y-intercept is -5. And so what would this equation look like?
Y minus x minus 5.
Yeah, -1x there, and then -5 for the y-intercept. So that's an example from question number 1. Question number 2.
Can I have the
Yeah, you can. Question number, the second part, girls. The second part is they give you a graph. No, just hang on. So the second part is they give you a graph, and you still have to do this. It's the same challenge to figure out what the equation is. And so what you have to do first is find the slope using using the formula like we did yesterday. Okay. And then also reading off what the y-intercept is going to be. Okay. And that takes care of the second part. You get what b is. Then you just put them in there. What else? That's it. Okay, so for these ones, even only. In other words, 2, 4, 6, blah, blah, blah. Okay, 2, 4, 6, blah, blah, blah. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. So for class, yeah, Parsi, you got one? Yeah, you can pass it out to everyone if you don't mind. Then you can take off. Thank you, good sir. I'm going to stop the video now, Zoom, all right? And so I'll keep the line open. But video's pausing for sure there. We can reconnect next time.